I expect fun. Good luck. You have 50 minutes to maybe begin.
All right, the finals are underway.
That's not changed.
Looks like Peyton's gonna start. He's gonna start with a normal summon Lacrima, which is gonna dump Engraver.
That's unfortunate to start with Lacrima, but we'll take what we can get.
Well, the nice thing about the Fiendsmith engine is that it is self-contained. You are going to be able to get to whatever you want with any piece, essentially. The question is whether it takes your normal summon or not, but being able to get to the Lacrima, he's going to or the Requiem, he's going to activate the effect, and that is going to be fine. The other thing that makes the Fiendsmith engine so strong is that each choke point really tests what your opponent has in hand. You know, there's going to be many ways. The Requiem, for example, is going to test for Ash here. You know, when you threaten Caesar, you're going to test for Nib. Things like that really make the Fiendsmith engine so skill intensive. And you're going to see Peyton try and get to something here. He's going to...
Caesar.
Wow, special back the Engraver. He's going to make the Caesar with 2 Engravers. Oh no! QCR Ash has been pulled, so even if they didn't win, that's a pretty big win for whoever pulled that. So he's going to link 2 with the Engravers. The sequence. So threatening Desiree.
That's a
Valor on the sequence. Wow. Crucial Valor that's gonna, you know, it calls into question what extenders Peyton has in hand. Thrust. Well, not quite an extender, but unless he is able to set well, he could set an Unchained trap here, and it really depends on whether he has a Ruha or... Well, having already spent his normal summon, it really would be a Ruha, wouldn't it? Yeah. What a well-timed Valor, really punishing, you know, not taking the bait of, you know, doing it on the... Well, I guess there wouldn't be any point to do it beforehand. But what a well-timed interruption, really forcing Peyton to think on his feet here. It's taking a long time to think. I mean, this is going to be a crucial... He's going to set the Fiendsmith in Paradise. Interesting. That's a card we haven't seen from Peyton up until this point. But if he doesn't... I mean, that telegraphs to Will he doesn't have a Ruha, and he's just going to set another card and pass. So... Yeah, so Will's got his... well, even then, Will's got his... work cut out for him. He's got 5 cards working into just a sequence and 2 back row, one of which is just Paradise. He's going to start with Lordly Load, which is about as good as it gets. You know, such a low commitment play that's going to force Peyton to use some of his interactions here if he has them. That's going to add Barrel, and it's going to draw out the Droll. Droll not necessarily the strongest against Primite Blue Eyes, but it does does mean that yeah, we'll see what happens here. He's going to normal the Barrel and activate the effect. That effect will... Peyton looking at his back row. We know the center is the Paradise. Unknown set in the other column underneath the sequence. As well as 1 card in hand. Thinking on activating the unknown set is Droplet. Wow. He's going to send the Paradise. Okay. And that's going to negate the Barrel. But again, that's 1 card that Will has expended. 1 card in the normal summon that Will has expended drawing out that Droplet. Other than the 1 card in hand, which even if it is a hand trap, we'll see what Will does to get himself out of this situation. Still 4 cards in hand. Under Droll, which does make it difficult to do everything you want to do, but you know, he still has a ton of plays open to him depending on whether he's able to have Maiden or even Sage would not be terrible here. We'll see. Turn passes back to Peyton as well. Other than summoning back the Engraver, there isn't that much available to him at the moment. I suppose you could Requiem and come back and get the Lacrima, but he's going to activate True Light here off of the Maiden. Wow, that puts significant pressure on Peyton. I mean, really, it's just the last card in hand, and True Light already on field with Maiden and Grave. The other matches seemingly also kind of in this, thought-intensive deadlock, really focusing on trying to get the most out of your interactions here, where there's really no room for error. The True Light will resolve, so he's likely going to summon Blue Eyes off of this. We'll see. Keep in mind, I was going to set Majesty. Interesting. That's, I'm not sure what that tells Peyton, but we'll see what he thinks of it. Still just the one card in hand. Under Droll, not easily able to set up a Spirit Dragon or something or other, but he's just going to go battle and attack with the sequence. Wow. Sequence I want to say is 18, or sequence is 12, so that's going to crash. And activating the Wardly Load to summon here. That's going to give him access to the Maiden and the Synchro 9, or Link 2 as well. So Will really utilizing the Blue Eyes engine to the fullest and making use of that battle phase to get his monsters off the field. I mean, really today we've seen a lot of that from different players as to utilizing the battle phase in really creative ways to either get your monster off the field, a proc destruction effect. We're going to see the Paradise here. It's a very good Paradise from Peyton. The Maiden does come out. Now he's down to just, he'll use the Lacrima now. Making sure that the Spirit can, before Will threatens Spirit. Sending the True Light, and the True Light's going to destroy. Turn passes back to Peyton, who really is just left with the sequence and the Engraver and Grave, plus whatever he top decks into here. But either way, Will's still quite strong with the Majesty play. Thinking here, Will also with 2 cards in hand. Looks like he's going to use the Engraver. Let's see what he's going to shuffle back the Desiree. Okay. So now this allows him to cycle through the Fiendsmith engine again. The other Engraver now the only Light Fiend in the graveyard available to him. So the sequence is not quite live yet, although we have seen him play Aerial Eater. We'll see. Well, someone pulled a Q-Star Called by Alt Art, so good for them. The Majesty here, just going to send the sequence. And now Peyton only... Wow, he's going to have the Unchained Soul of Rage, or Unchained Abomination? The level 8. That's going to allow him to potentially pop the Wardly Load if he chooses to use the discard. But either way, that's 2 monsters on field and allows him access to something like Yama. We'll see what he chooses to to offer to Will here. You know, despite only having one card in field, Will's still in a, I don't want to say commanding position, but he's still able to come back with still the Maiden and the Blue Eyes Engrave, and if the Lord Reload is not dealt with, that also presents a significant threat. Will also has 2 cards in hand, which could also threaten the Yama if Peyton chooses to go that route. He's going to choose to link off the Engraver for Requiem. Prior Requiem effect. That's going to likely grab the Lacrima, and the Lacrima is going to dump another Engraver, perhaps? I mean, we haven't seen him run multiple Lacrima, so likely just the 3rd Engraver. Okay. So all the Engravers spent, although you can get those back really easily. He has used Engraver this turn, so he doesn't have access to Sequence yet. And with only 2 materials on board, he's not going to have access to Agnum Day either. 2 Fiends still threatening Yama. Chooses to link them off. This will be Yama. Yama effect activates. Lets that resolve. Assumedly going to grab Sharvara here. That would be his first Sharvara. But we also don't know the unknown in his hand. That could be, I mean, it could be quite literally anything based on the way he's played. Well, seems like this case of Stampede has quite good pulls. He's going to grab the Ishiyama here off the Yama. Interesting. Seems like there's a question here Will has about Peyton committing to that play.
Wow. My question. I'm sorry, I'm out of it, but
No, just rest. I believe it's a question about. So it's a question about committing to the play. He did place the Shiama on the table, which, you know, in a vacuum that is revealing private information, so.
Yama was summoned, it resolved, to add. He declared effects of search. Put on the revive. Yeah. What I'll say is that the intention was to grab that card and pull it out of your deck, and you pull it out and give it as soon as it becomes public knowledge, it tends to defer. But inside of it is left in space of private knowledge, it is now a committed choice. If you wanted to keep it an option, what are your options?
Well, I know I saw Shiama hit the field, and he did not take his hand off of it, but it was visible in public knowledge, so he will have to commit to the Shiama, which is rather not the best play here, but you know, that does give Will another turn. He's going to nib here. That's a very, very good nib. He's just going to have to set the card. So the unknown was a set. We'll see. It is thrust. Okay. Opting to use the Shiama over activating a second thrust. Just gonna summon back the sequence, so threatening Desiree here again. You might have to shuffle back. Okay, 2 Engravers and 1 Requiem here. Well, Desiree in the anima column is certainly brave, but I suppose he doesn't have a choice based on where he put the sequence. Gonna make Agnum Day and bring back the Desiree. Does get the battle phase here. We'll see how much he can come in for. I mean, Unchained stuff is quite large.
Oh, the nib is gone.
Yeah, the nib is gone. Did he put the token in attack? Why? Is that game? Yeah, the Agnum Day is 56. Wow. Brutal.
No, you're not. Keep track because this well doesn't have anything to stop because the game's over. Yeah.
Alright, so Peyton takes game 1. Post side, there's going to be a lot to think about between having the Unchained Fiendsmith engine and Will on a more standard Primite Blue Eyes deck, because it calls into question what exactly you have in your side deck available to you. What specifically in Primite Blue Eyes that you're going to have to combat something like Unchained, where they can play under their own role, and outside of any of the turn-ending cards that really stop that type of graveyard-centric special from deck strategy are going to be things that Will is either not going to be able to play or not going to be able to play going second. Or going first, rather. Assuming he makes he chooses to go first here. I mean, Primite Blue Eyes, I can't imagine that you would choose to go second. Well, people playing a lot of QCRs. Alright, ready to start game 2. Will, I believe, choosing to go first. Thinking hard. Not a great sign. Wow. He's just gonna set 3 and pass. That is tragic. Well, Peyton has his work cut out for him. Even just judging by Will's reaction, this is not good for UC Santa Cruz. I'll start with Engraver.
I can't. That's gonna be really awkward. Anyone else pull sages out of their box?
No, not a single one.
What about you? Are there any sages? Sage blue eyes? Sage dark blue?
I didn't know he was in the set.
I didn't know either. I didn't know it was a guy until recently.
What? Okay, I knew that.
Going through the motions of the Fiendsmith line.
Judge, can you get water? Judge, can you get water?
Yeah, there's a bathroom right there.
Or my apologies on the pricing. It was a case of QCR Stampede that was given out to the all of top 4, and then the case of Suda will be given out to the first place winner. We're gonna go with the Starfire here. That's gonna be Judgmented. Wow.
There's a ghost over there?
He gave me, and then I went
That's the
straight.
only hand job I've pulled. Yeah, it's just it's like a lot of good stuff in there.
Fun fact, I had Ash.
Going through the motions of the Fiendsmith line here. Requiem resolves. Last 2 sets unknown, but the Judgment first is quite telling. After the conclusion of this match, we'll move over to the B player first, and then the C player if necessary. Black and we're going to dump Engraver here. Immediately linked you into sequence, threatening Desiree already. That's going to check these last 2 cards if Will doesn't have anything. Well, it's going to check at least one of them. We'll see. It is Imperm in the center column on the sequence. Very similar play to last time. The Engraver is already spent, so this is just going to sit there. And he's just going to set one in the... Oh, set one and Sharvara. Wow. He had the extender. And the A-bomb is going to special from deck. Wow. I mean, we do know Will plays Nibiru, but other than that, I don't see a way out of this. Remember, Will did choose to go first, so I have to believe his side deck is tailored for that scenario. Just a lone card set. Lone card set and 2 cards in hand. I summon a Ruha.
One PCR will be like $1 a round. Then he goes. Oh yeah, you said.
Alright, well the Yama hits. I don't see what the last set was. I assume it was likely another Imperm. Sequence was Impermed.
Oh.
It was Imperm, okay. So the Judgment and double Imperm still not enough to evade this attack from Peyton, who is going to get through damage, but still trying to find a way to get through. He's going to set the Chamber off the Yama. Will just oh, Sharbara, my bad. And 2 cards left in hand for Will. Yeah, 2 cards left. That really is his last choice, last chance. Wink them off here. To A-Bow. I mean, A-Bow by itself does so much for the deck. Is that going to be it though? A-Bow in the set? I believe we have used the Iruha effect. So he's just going to attack with A-Bow for 3,000.
Will use 2 Solemn Judgments?
I'm sorry?
They will use 1 or 2 Solemn Judgments.
Oh, just 1. So that puts him at 1,000.
Now it's 3K.
Oh, is it?
No, it's 28.
Oh, my apologies. So we're now at 1,200. I mean, really reeling here. Already down a game. He's going to have to sequence this perfectly and get some luck based on the quality of his top dose. Non-won the C game, so even if Will loses here, it's going to come down to the B player, Kevin and Sam.
Who actually might have to try.
The sequence comes back, and he's going to be able to put Desiree up, plus the set. Choosing to use the 2 Starfire in one of the engravers. I mean, going first, there's not really... I mean, Will choosing to go first, I don't believe there's anything inside there that's going to help him get out of this situation, really. We'll see if Peyton chooses to go into Agam Day here and get the Desiree a little bit more. He will choose to do that. Okay.
Okay, I'm just like reading the minutia. Okay, basically I'm making sure that if I set on this in the deck, that doesn't only have to be on the deck. Yeah. I'm not sure for later.
Well, in the Transversor proof zone, and Will concedes. So it's going to come down to the B player, Kevin and Sam.